This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 24/7 Buff Pandemonium presents the K-Gun Report, Season 3.
What's up, everybody?
It's so good to be back, isn't it, guys?
We missed you all 6 weeks, felt like 6 months, but we're finally back. We've had a lot of stuff happening. But before we get to that, guys, how you been? Swank, how you been?
I don't know, man. It's not like I haven't seen you since lunch here today.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, I was when you took your trip to Alaska, I was really worried about you getting too cold up there. But no, I'm glad you're back, dude. And while I was in safari saving the penguins, I was like just feeling life, you know, YOLO, really. Just hashtag YOLO.
Scott, how you been? Looks like you have a couple additions in the back there. That's a nice setup.
Oh yeah, no, Chaz Gasper, the father of Bill's kid, he had a little post out earlier this week looking for mini helmets. I have mini helmets. He's giving away jerseys, so we traded up. Thank you there, guy, Mr. Gasper. Jackson, we have a Washington, and we also have a Levi Walsh that we're going to give away on one of these shows coming up here.
But what's going on tonight, though, Scott? What's going on tonight?
We have a Gregory Rousseau, number 50,
Groot.
Buffalo Bills defensive end Groot. We are giving a jersey away, COA, authenticated. Guys, it's a pretty sweet jersey, and all you have to do is comment. If you come on and watch, that's awesome. But say hi, say go Bills, say blah blah blah, Chandler Jones, whatever you want.
Chandler Jones. I like that.
We will get you on the Pandemonium Wheel of Destiny for your chance to win. That's all you got to do. And obviously, when you got a spare moment, we would love it if you tagged, shared, liked, and spread the love, because we love you guys and get it all up.
Hell yeah.
Hey, guys, would you believe Alberto Rivera's here? Ellen
No
Larks.
What's up,
Yeah,
guys?
Brent Thomason is here. Buffalo Spartan.
What's up, brother? Oh, man. All my
Scott,
favorite people are
holy
here,
cow,
dude.
you dropped it already. Buffalo Spartans here, Scott?
This is Sparta.
Just shaking the rust off. Just
you know.
Lonnie Cook, Joey Hatch. Guys, welcome back to the party.
Hey, real
Welcome
fast, man.
back.
We're starting off this season 3. This is the 3rd season that we've done the K-Gun Report. Thank all of you guys for all of the support, and thank most of you guys for being OGs and being with us since the very beginnings when we were streaming to like 3 of you guys on YouTube. So we really appreciate you. Right now, I'll say this. We've hit 32 viewers on Facebook right off the damn bat. So thank you guys so much. And if you're here, again, write a comment. You will win. You'll be entered to win a Gregory Rousseau signed jersey just for showing up and leaving a comment. Holy bejesus.
Holy Toledo.
There you go, Jerry.
Oh my gosh, Scott.
What do
Oh
you
my
guys
gosh.
plans?
All right, guys, guess what? You guys thought we're going to lead off right away with players, right? I got a twist in here for you. What do you guys think about St. John Fisher this year? Scott, lead the way.
It's only a 1-year deal, but guys, we all know how big of a presence the Rochester area has when it comes to Buffalo Bills fans, and we all know from the 3 of us being in the Finger Lakes region, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out FLX Mafia, Finger Lakes Mafia. It's a 24/7 Buff page. Guys, we have a big following. We have a big Bills following in the Finger Lakes area. It's a huge area that doesn't get any recognition. We're doing special things for that area this year, so keep your eyes out for that stuff. But yeah, it's good for Buffalo. It's good for Rochester. It's good for Finger Lakes. It's even good for Syracuse to have it at St. John Fisher, and I'm glad they're doing it for a year.
Hell yeah. It's really fun when you go there, man. I mean, it's like that line of demarcation as far as like who is a crazy fan, who's crazy enough to go watch a professional football team run laps and do fake plays against nobody, you know. And we are that fan base, and it is so fun. Like, it's so fun to root for those underdog players, the guys that are going to make the practice squad. I remember one of the first times I really was like sunk into training camp was when Jarrod won the job from EJ Manuel, and we were just watching EJ loft balls 5 yards out of bounds to wide open wide receivers and passing drills, being like, like, what are we gonna do? And then Jarrod came out, and oh my God, we might have a chance to actually like win a couple games. But it's just so fun. It's a really cool experience. If you've never been, I would highly suggest it. I'm sure we're going. We're going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful scene too. St. John Fisher's done a lot with their college, obviously with the help of the Buffalo Bills being there. But you walk in, you have their big shop, you have just merch and all that stuff everywhere. Then they have the 2 separate fields where offense is on one side, defense is on the next. A lot of space of walking, food. You know, it's a nice little establishment they have there, and yeah, we'll definitely be there this year.
Hell yeah.
Yep, and I'm glad it's at St. John Fisher this year, and hopefully after this year can continue on, especially if we win the big game at next year. That the mojo keeps flying, and they decide to keep doing it. I mean, it's good for Rochester, it's good for the Finger Lakes area, and it's just a wonderful place. As always, we like to get the fandemonium involved. Gregory Dornbush is the name I haven't seen, so welcome, Gregory. With that, go Bills! You are entered to win a Gregory Rousseau COA jersey. Sister from another Mr. Brent Thomason. That's always perfect. Oh gosh.
Swank, would you believe it only took Jarrod 7 minutes to say that big the championship word? 7 minutes to mention the Super Bowl.
Listen, man, the more things change, I don't know if you guys noticed, the K-Gun's got a new look. We're trying to spruce stuff up. I've had COVID for the last 2 weeks. So we did have a whole lot of like content and cool stuff planned. And I promise it'll still come out, but things got prioritized differently when I got laid up for 2 weeks. But the more things stay the same, the more things change, right? And the more things change, the more homers stay the same. So there you are. Jarrod's already called it. Super Bowl champs 2023.
Hey. There you go.
All right, Swag, I'm going to let you lead the way on here. Fandemonium, don't be afraid to jump in and let us know your opinion. We know what players – yeah, go ahead, Scott.
If anyone hears of Chandler Jones information during the show, let us know ASAP.
Yes, please.
There you go. Chandler Jones.
Any info, man. Any info.
So, Swank, Although we've signed a lot of players, reconstruction, Matt Milano's in the works. We hear. What's your favorite signing? That's not Buffalo. That they weren't a Bill before. What's your favorite signing?
Well, let me tell you, man. Brandon Beane's made some solid moves, and people might say that he's settled, but not Tim Settle. This dude, everything that I've read, right? Like are we all in agreement that we love these moves? He's building up the trenches. I'm not going to go outside of my lane, and I'm going to stay with my guys so you guys can go off on these other guys. But I'm very excited for Tim Settle. They are very excited for Tim Settle in Washington. A lot of people have been bummed that he's gone. He's very productive with very small amounts of opportunities. A big guy. A dude that can replace a Star Latulele and maybe line up next to my boy Eddie O and wreak some havoc. So I'm really, really, really down with Tim Settle. And I want to hear it from Scott's mouth how proud he is that I actually did some research on somebody that's not a Buffalo.
Brent Thomason said he's dude is a man-child.
Hell yeah.
And Brian Van Slyke from Breaking Tables just said, "What's up, boys?
What
My
up?
source just texted me. Chandler Jones is in Buffalo right now."
Oh,
So
sweet,
He's
dude.
at Duffy's.
Buffalo Wild
He's at
Wings?
Duffy's. Oh, there you go. Swank, to add on to that Tim Settle thing, guys, a lot of people are, who's this guy? Well, he doesn't have numbers. He does have good numbers. For his small sample size, he's put up some pretty impressive numbers. In 2020, he had 30% of snaps on that defensive line and recorded 5 sacks. That's more than anybody on our defense, I think, this year other than Addison. Last year, he only accumulated 20% of the snaps. And let's not forget what kind of defensive line the Washington Commanders have. They have Sweat on one side. They have Chase Young on the other. And they have Jonathan, forgot his name, Allen in the middle. And they have Darren Payne in the middle. I believe they're all first-round draft picks on that defensive line. So with limited snaps and limited opportunity, this Tim Settle guy has produced quite a bit, and he's an ex-Edmonds teammate there at Virginia Tech. So I'm really excited for him. The guy's got a high motor, and the Bills did go ahead and get 2 Tech 1s. They got DeShaun Jones and Tim Settle. So what's that mean? We already know we lost Horrible Harry. We're all going to miss him very much. But what's this mean for Star Latulele, and is he on the outs is the question.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would think it would only make sense, right? He just hasn't been available like as much as you'd want. Obviously, he's been fine when he's been in there, but I think at this point, like, he's served his purpose. If you were going to hold on to one of those guys, I would have thought it would have been Harry. But obviously, they're looking for something new, and I applaud it, man. The dude, Bean's been making all the right moves to free up all the right money to be able to sign multiple guys that can help them now. So it's awesome.
And that phrase you hear all the time, the best ability is availability. So with this whole Star Latulele being hurt and then the COVID thing, and yeah, for sure, these are guys that we can rest assured that they'll be there.
Yeah, we can, Minnesota Vikings fans, if you're watching or tuning in by any chance, you got a good guy coming your way. So treat him right. He was good for the community here, and he's a good locker room presence too for our Buffalo Bills. So he will be missed.
Hey, and he got paid, man. He got paid a nice chunk.
Yeah,
he did.
I
did.
think that's a more than fair contract for him, and hopefully he can go and tear some stuff up, and he'll get just shy of the Super Bowl. Like, I'll give him a little bit of that. But I can't believe.
Speaking of getting paid,
yeah.
What's the Jacksonville Jaguars doing paying Christian Kirk $18 million a year, Zay Jones $10 million a year? What's going on there?
Now, listen, I was going to text you guys and say we're not talking about anybody else besides the Buffalo Bills tonight, Scott. But
you don't own me.
But Swank, do you know where I'm going with this? The Jaguars getting wide receivers. Jared, guess who they put on the trading block?
Miles Jarrett.
Laviska Shenault.
Oh, Miles Jarrett's gone too, though.
Guys, picture
Miles
this.
Jack. Sorry, Miles Jack.
Miles Jack. Picture this, Jared. Trevor Lawrence, a young quarterback, struggled last year. Now he's got a third wide receiver in Christian Kirk. He's got a third wide receiver in Zay Jones. They picked up Ingram, the tight end from the Giants. He needs someone like Beasley. Beasley helped Josh Allen out so much. I think that would be a perfect situation for the Jacksonville Jaguars to go ahead and trade for Beasley.
Yeah.
And I think it should be a straight up trade. Give us Laviska Shenault and we'll take Beasley, and you take Beasley. I think that would be awesome.
I think you're 100% right. I think that the one thing that he needs is what Josh Allen needed, right? Like, if you want to do the right thing, like, you should get Cole Beasley in there, and then he can do those quick little outs while his knees. And I don't think Beasley's even lost a step, man. You know, he wants to keep playing. I know he's older. If it was between Landry and Bees and I was Jacksonville, I would be pursuing Beasley hard right now.
Yeah, I would too. Guys, we're resting right now at 40 viewers. If you're watching the show right now, do not be afraid to leave a comment, because if you do, you're entered for a chance to win that Gregory Rousseau jersey. 40. That's awesome, guys.
Yeah, that kicks ass. Also, by the way, apparently YouTube has lifted whatever stupid thing has gone on, because we got some people over there. We got Uncle James over there. Paul Rossi's over there. We got Caucasian Persuasion. He's over there.
It's a he.
I don't know, man. I just assume. I don't know what kind of like. I guess I want to meet the woman that's got enough like swagger to be like, I'm Caucasian Persuasion, motherfucker. But yo, thank you guys so much. Yeah.
And Scott reads on the comments too, guys. Hey, Scott.
What's up?
Back.
What's up, buddy?
My first favorite, Scott Reed.
So, Jarrod, that's the reason why I want to talk about the Jaguars, because of this whole Cole Beasley thing in the trade, and we haven't seen that trade yet, but I think that would be an amazing one. We would save a bunch of money on cap space because we'd get that money back for Beasley, and Laviska Shenault still on his rookie contract, so that would be something else.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens, because if Cole Beasley doesn't get any offers, who knows what Bean will do too. So
right.
I saw something on the comments, and I want to touch on it really quick. The fact that we have a viewer that is a huge wrestling fan, and I don't know if you guys know, but they recently, Scott Hall right there, Patrick Hughes,
Razor Ramon.
Yeah, but rest in peace to bad guy Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. So yes,
I'll tell you, I never was like a huge wrestling fan growing up. One of my favorite guitarists is a wrestler for AEW right now in one of my favorite bands. And then their Buffalo band, Every Time I Die. Awesome Andy. He is, I think, the Butcher of the Butcher and the Blade from AEW wrestling, which is like a crazy thing. He just decided in like his mid-30s that he was going to pursue his dream of being a professional wrestler, and then got an AEW contract, I guess. But he's a beast of a dude. And he is like literally one of the craziest guitar players. Anyway, so it's still not like a big follower, but I remember that era. I remember my cousin was super into it, and I remember sitting and watching, you know, when NWO came over, and he was like super huge into like the NWO movement and the Attitude Era, they call it, of wrestling and all that stuff. And I just remember, man, being younger and being like, that guy's a dirtball. So he played his part that well, man. He was, they said like the most likable bad guy, you know, so it's cool.
So Swank's favorite pickup right now is Tim Settle. That's a good one.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Who you got, buddy?
Scott, what's yours?
JD McKissick. Guys, and then this is a situation the Bills found themselves in last year when they were trying to find that change of pace running back, and they brought in Matt Breida for the speed. We all saw how often he was used, barely. He did show glimpses, but not enough to earn him any significant playing time. This J.D. McKissick pickup raised a lot of questions for me, but good questions. The guy is known for catching the ball out of the backfield. He's not going to burn you. He's a 4.5 40 guy, but he's elusive like Singletary is. And they got him for 2 years, I believe, for not a lot of money. So this is a guy that I believe is definitely a third down change of pace guy, due to the fact that I think what this is telling me is that Ken Dorsey may be using the running back a little more, not running, but in the pass game. We all know last year and even the year before, Zach Moss and Singletary got really high grades for pass protection, and they were protecting a lot of the times. Now you go ahead and bring in this guy, a third down back that is known for his routes in the flats, his circle patterns, the ability to outrun a linebacker on a deep pattern. I think this is a great pickup, and I think this is a pickup that's telling us a lot about what Ken Dorsey might be doing this offseason and into the season. So I'm excited for it. It's a great pickup. He did well for the Washington Commanders, And, there's that, guys, we went into this free agency with only 2 running backs, Singletary and Moss, with, I believe Wade was on an exclusive rights package. I'm not sure if he's on the team or what, but we only had 2. I think we will be addressing it in the draft, but we definitely needed to pick up someone like McKissick. And I think that's a wonderful pickup.
And Scott, don't forget, you did mention that Zach Moss and Devin Singletary were rated high in pass protection. I think where you were going with that was McKissick is also highly rated in pass protection too. So have the threat of pass protection, and letting that guy slip by for a drop off is going to be something huge too in that Buffalo Bills Josh Allen ran offense. So,
well, think about what the opportunity this may bring up for Josh Allen. He grows every year. And one thing he's always done, he's been able to make his reads, but then he'd scramble a little bit, take off, and use his legs. He's never had that guy where he makes his reads and I got a running back in the flats or doing a little quick screen out to the outside. He's never had that. And now Ken Dorsey's bringing that option to Buffalo. If now a linebacker has to cover McKissick coming out of the backfield, or a defensive end has to go cover him because he crossed his face and it might be a screen, that's going to open up that defense. It's going to open up drag routes, crosses across the middle for McKenzie. It's going to open up a lot in this offense. And I can't wait to see what Ken Dorsey does with this option that they brought in.
We got Uncle Jamie over on YouTube saying that he hears he's a great pass blocker and then dump it off to him for the screen. That's another thing that we were missing, right, this year. We didn't have a big screen game. But it was also because we didn't have a big run game in the beginning of the season either. So I think that this guy is going to add a lot with a little, right? A little bit of risk, a little bit of touch, but he's a threat. I think what people are completely forgetting about is that our boy Little Dirty, who signed his extension, he's going to be a Buffalo Bill for the next 2 years. Well deserved. I love Isaiah McKenzie. And I think
contract friendly contract too. They had him marked at $8 million. We got him for $4 million.
And he literally said, I heard on the radio, I wanted to bring this up tonight. He said in his press conference, it didn't take much to keep him here because he wants to be here. It's about the loyalty. He loves the Bills. He loves the area. He is the face of the franchise, as Knox, and I think he self-proclaimed. Last year, they were saying on the radio, do you guys remember that he said when he got extended last year, they could have paid me in candy? That's how bad I wanted to stay in Buffalo. I completely forgot about that. But this kid is 100% a Buffalo Bill through and through. And I think what people are forgetting is the way that he was utilized at the end of the season last year. He was utilized like that Deebo Samuel kind of scat back. Obviously he's not as big as Deebo, but quick, taking handoffs straight from the backfield, even a wildcat. I want to see a little bit more of that out of him, especially if he's not going to be the true number 3. If he's not going to be the slot guy all the time, I want to see a lot more of that. And then you pair it with this guy, the alternates, the different things that you can do, especially with Motor the way he ran towards the end of the season, and now you have a better run blocking presence up front. This could be a real dual threat team that, we're going to throw all over you, but we're going to get super productive in the run game too.
Yeah, I mean, you bring in back McKenzie with his jet sweeps, and you got the McKissick guy who's very speedy and stuff like that, and then you have Singletary in the backfield. Let's see. Can you imagine just looking out there and watching the game and seeing Allen in shotgun with Singletary and McKissick in the back with McKenzie running around, fake jet sweep, handoff to it can get crazy. It can be like back when the Washington, the other name that they had back in the 90s when they had a lot of motion set up different plays. So that could be, you never know. We might have a moving offense this year, and it might be the same type of gameplay, but a lot of movement to see and give Allen better reads before the snap. So we'll see what happens. This is gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Good pickup, Bean.
When you said that, Swank, right when you said that, Swank, Joey Hatch agreed with you. He said he'd play for candy. I swear, once I looked down when you said that, he said that.
It's my boy Joey.
All right, so Josh Cook agrees with me. I think that we have a gem in Roger Saffold. He's a offensive lineman that the Buffalo Bills picked up. He's been in the league for quite a long time. He has playoff experience, and he's going to be lined up most likely right by another guy they just signed with Mitch Morse. So to have those two guys up front, the knowledge that they're going to bring to the game, the ability to talk to the other linemen, it's going to bring something that it's going to be just crazy. So I'm looking forward to see how he does, and I'm excited about that pickup. He was a Pro Bowler last year. The only thing they have a knock on him for, I guess, that I've seen is his pass blocking, but he did block for Derrick Henry last year, or last couple of years, who's pretty much been running all over the league. So we'll give him that. What do you guys think about him?
He's a
Pro Bowler.
He's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people say Pro Bowl doesn't mean much, but the guy is a little older. I think he's on the other side of 30. He used to be a significant left tackle, played very well at that position, aged a little bit, came into the left guard, and he's a Pro Bowler. You can't take that away from him. You can't take the production of the teams that he's been a part of with the playoffs and the running attack. You just can't. And the guy's huge. He does bring an attitude, which is something we needed. And again, it was one of those things, and I'll say it again. The best ability is availability. He's pretty reliable as far as games started and not missing any games. Whereas Feliciano, unfortunately, got the injury bug, and then the COVID thing hit him real hard. And I don't think he was ever the same after all that stuff. So he's with the New York Giants now. Good for him. Congratulations. Best of luck. But we have a definite upgrade in our line with Saffold. We have Dawkins, Saffold, Mitch Morse, our first-round draft pick, and Spencer Brown.
Your first-round draft pick,
that, dude. I like that. I want first and second round. People would keep.
Yeah, it'll be second, I think, second or third round.
I want them both. I want all three. I think that's like the Patriot way, right? That's the Tom Brady Patriot way. You stack the line. You make it so that there's a bunch of no names on that line, and all they want to do is die for the quarterback. And I think that's what you need to do right now. I'm okay with it being a boring offseason, a boring draft, and just getting some big-ass guys to block, because weapon-wise for me, like, we're almost there, Like, I don't know, and that's probably another topic for another day, but, like, I don't need a whole lot more, like, playmaker-wise. I think that you got enough toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tighten up the core.
Yeah.
Right? Tighten up the core, and that's what they've been doing this legal tampering type time of year. So
what were you saying?
The one guy we haven't mentioned yet was DeShaun Jones, defensive tackle. He played last year for the Panthers. But his previous years were with a different team, and it just escaped me what team. Okay, so Titans. So he's had a pretty good career. An older gentleman coming in with experience. Scott, what's your take on Mr. DeShaun Jones, DT?
He's another Tech 1 guy, which is why I believe Star Latulia's job might be in danger. He's productive. He played for a Tennessee defense that was really a really good defense, and he manned the middle there. So I'm excited for him too. I love how the Bills bring in a 24-year-old and settle, and then a 30-something-year-old in DeShaun Jones. And, I think both of those guys paired up with Ed Oliver, and right now they have Ancow and Latulia still there. But I like that pickup. I like the veteran presence, and he's been liked wherever he went, and he does bring an attitude as well. So good luck to him.
I can't wait to hear how Basham and Rousseau are doing in Epinesa. You haven't heard much of that, obviously, because of this time of year. You're hearing about other stuff, but I can't wait to see if they're working. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, this is the DLine episode, man. So we can cruise into that. You got to think that this is like Epinesa's year, right? Like he's got to break out and take it over. Depending on what goes on with Hughes and Addison and all that stuff, but I think this is his year to break out. And to be honest, I think Groot too, with the first round pedigree you put on him. So it'll be interesting to see.
Epinesa is definitely one of those guys he has to show up this year. He has to.
Yeah.
I've even seen some stories. I've even thought about ways of trading him away. So he better put his big boy pants on, because this is the year he needs to perform.
Real quick, our boy Patrick Hughes is in the comments, and he was wondering, with Mitch gone, who do we have or should pick up to back up Josh freaking Allen? Good question.
It's a great question. I mean, two guys that jump into my head right away, and I know that's not going to be the popular vote, but maybe one is, bring back Ryan Fitzpatrick to settle back there. But I wouldn't mind seeing old number 5 back here, either Tyrod Taylor, because he's got that mobility, and I think he can be a great backup. That's my opinion.
He just signed with the Giants.
Did he?
Never mind.
Really?
So bring back Ryan Fitz.
That's weird. Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, I thought I saw that. I think
so
he's with the
just going to
Giants.
back up Daniel Jones then. So they're going with that whole
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably start by the season start. So Tyrod Taylor might.
I'm with you with Fitzpatrick. With Fitzpatrick, but I don't know. I don't know who the other. There's been talks about Cam Newton. Please no, Bean, leave that Panther alone.
Yeah, man.
Cam Newton is out, but I also they may draft one. So who knows?
I'd like to get somebody with a little veteran experience, like just I see like Joe Flacco still available. Not like I really want him, but do I think he could win 50% of the games with this offense? Maybe,
Right.
Kyle Allen, somebody in the comments was just talking about that. Chad Kelly, Shane Becker said. I was hearing Teddy Bridgewater for a while, and I really like the idea of that. I don't think you're going to be able to get him cheap. And obviously, I think Fitzy, that would be great. A lot of people are worried about the Fitz curse, where you bring him in and then Josh Allen gets a season ender, right? Which isn't going to happen. But I don't know, man. Teddy Bridgewater, I like Teddy Bridgewater. I've always liked him. I always thought that he got a bum rap. That injury was horrible, and I think it would be interesting to have him here, just to do what Mitch did, man. Come reset. And then get another shot,
Yep.
I think that'd be perfect.
Yep. Jameis Winston also. Andy Dalton's still out there. Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett. So they do have quite a bit of
Paul Rossi says Teddy signed with Miami.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, never mind.
Man, our fandemonium's right on it, aren't they?
Bring in Dalton. Sure, why not? Bring in Dalton and Fitz. Bring in Dalton and Fitz and have the redheaded guys fight for that second
Brent
spot.
Thomason said Brett Favre wants to come out of retirement and be Allen's wingman. He's got to get those copper toner braces off and his
get
blue
some
jeans.
Wrangler jeans.
His Wrangler jeans. There you go. Oh gosh,
Dalton would be good, man. I mean, other than that, who's out there? I'll tell you what.
Gardner Minshew.
There's a couple people I don't want. Oh, Gardner Minshew? Listen, I'd be okay with that. Like, that is a really good suggestion to me. I think he's got that same kind. Like, can you imagine him and Josh Allen together, dude?
He's got that grit.
Yeah, those two would I think they would be the goofiest pair of quarterbacks in the whole NFL.
And Swank, like you said, take a Trubisky type deal, $2 million, reset yourself, and who knows?
Yeah.
Chicago Bears will be looking for a quarterback next year.
Always.
They're going to have $128 million in cap space next year. Those Chicago Bears will. Yeah, they'll be buying some peeps.
Well, maybe DeShaun will get suspended for the rest of the year, and they'll get a crack at him.
Maybe.
There's two quarterbacks that I absolutely don't want the Bills to have to, and I'm glad they don't have to go anywhere near. But DeShaun
Who's
Watson,
that, DeShaun,
dude.
and who?
Well, see, when I heard the Browns were thinking about moving from Baker and whatever, and then DeShaun Watson got in the mix and they're having a meeting with him, and I'm like, this team just does not want me to like them at all. I had to listen to this dude. They played it on, I think, Howard and Jeremy this morning on WGR. This dude from Cleveland radio went on this rant about DeShaun Watson, and he couldn't believe that the Browns would even entertain this, and the fan base it's going to be a hard sell, but they'll get over it because he's a player and he's going to bring them wins, but they should really evaluate like how he conducts himself and the fact that he's getting away with something, just because he was found innocent doesn't mean he's got 22 civil suits and all this stuff. Like it's a big mess, right? And we knew it was going to be a big mess. And he tweets out whatever, I'm free or whatever the hell it was, about being found innocent. But then I hear, the Browns are interviewing him. This guy's ranting about it, and all I can think of is like, you already have Kareem Hunt on your team. Like,
Right.
Were you doing this when he came? Because he like beat the hell out of a woman on video, so if you're gonna jump, like, don't act like the Browns are like they're playing out of the Vatican or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's a team full of scumbags that is still going to be a team full of scumbags if they get DeShaun Watson. And also,
they're entertaining the idea of adding a scumbag to their team, which
another
is
one.
Scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah. It just whatever. So anyway, with Baker, I thought the only thing outside of all that, and I don't like to get all political and stupid, but it does disgust the shit out of me, right? So the only thing I thought was, like, Cleveland is the only suitor that I can see the Texans really thinking about this, because they could get a mediocre, below average young quarterback like Baker Mayfield to kind of like toe the line for a year. If you weren't going to go with Mills, you could try to ride with Baker. And, you saw what he did with a bunch of superstars, so.
Right. I was listening
what
to
he didn't do.
Yeah,
I was listening to WGR 550 today, and they said that Cleveland, they don't think Cleveland will be getting rid of Mayfield, only because Houston is definitely only looking for draft picks out of this trade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So but you never know. You never know. No one knows until the actual event happens, right? So, but that's what they were saying on the afternoon talk there on WGR.
Well, unless it's a Seattle Seahawks Denver trade where Denver apparently just kept wanting to give players and draft picks away, that might be something that the Houston Texans might fall into. Yeah, sure, we'll take all your first rounds for the next 12 years. Oh, and you want to give us Baker? Sure, why not?
Yeah. They were saying like maybe if that deal went through and the Texans got Baker in along with the whole deal, that they could just turn him like a house, just flip him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's hilarious. I see the Colts as like a destination for Baker Mayfield. That would actually probably be like one of the best places that he could land. Frank Reich trying to make something out of you. It'd be like Bad News Bears. And he has one horrible season because he doesn't listen to anything Frank says, and then he's kicked out of the league. It'd be great.
And I think Indy's looking for a quarterback.
I got commercials I can rely on. Hey, Scott, unpopular opinion. Allen is better quarterback than Mahomes. I think as Bills fans all in here, I think we agree on that.
I think it's a popular opinion
Everybody.
here. Yeah.
Let's understand what Mahomes was brought into with Andy Reid as an offensive guru, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey,
Alex Smith being quarterback in front of him.
Yes, he was brought into the perfect situation, and kudos to the Chiefs for bringing a quarterback in when you had someone like Alex Smith as someone that could mentor. But he came into a lot better situation, whereas Josh Allen came into Andre Holmes and Zay Jones, and who else was their wide receiver? Charles Clay was a tight. I mean, consider the facts.
It's a fun game, dude, because the more the years go by, the more like we try to name all these wide receivers, and we're like, who? There was that guy from the Raiders, remember? Robert Foster. Do you say him?
Robert Foster.
Yeah. Love
Just
Robert
signed with
Foster.
the Giants.
Yep.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, and the thing with Allen is that I pointed this out when the Kansas City Chiefs lost the playoff game. Allen can do everything. He could throw from the pocket, he can throw on the run, and he can run the ball. You keep Mahomes in the pocket and force him to make in the pocket on your 2 feet throw, he can't do it. He can't do it. And so Allen gets the notch in my book when it comes to that.
Quick, Scott, what are you drinking tonight?
Vodka tonic.
Swank, what are you drinking tonight?
Whiskey ginger.
I got you too. Whiskey ginger. Hey, we're still looking for a beer sponsor. So if anybody knows any breweries out there that want to have us drink their beer on the show here,
It's got to be
let
good.
us know.
They got to have a good idea.
It's gonna be good. Since we just talked about the individuals that the Bills just signed in the last couple of days, I want to know from Swank first, then we'll get to Scott, but the Fandemonium, throw this out there. Who's the one free agent still available that you want, Swank?
I mean, I'll go with the obvious, man. I want Chandler. I think they're making all the moves right now to clear the space to get a big guy, and he's the biggest one out there, I think, for them to get. I was leaning a little bit. Like, I think if you do that and you get him and you bring him in, your pass rush elevates automatically. And I think with what you just did to the defensive line and these young guys coming up, it could be a scary step. Like, you should get some really serious production. And I'm not trying to take away from the fact that they should get serious production. This is literally the third year in a row that they've invested heavily in the defensive line. So it needs to happen. No more just getting by. Like, there needs to be results. There's no excuse for getting gashed on the run anymore. There's no excuse for pressures instead of sacks. And we always say on the show, pressures are almost as good as sacks, right? Like, or just as good. I'm saying right now, we need sacks. We need pressure. we need more. So that's what I'm gunning for and hoping for. I want some Chandler Jones, and I hope that opens it up so that if they're not going to address corner, if they don't get, I was joking around about offensive line 1, 2, 3. I think CB2 first round pick, snag them up, and then go OLine, and that's where I'm at.
Like that,
Scott.
approach.
Before I get to you, I hope Buffalo Bills fans are ready, because when Settle gets a sack, have you ever seen Settle's celebration?
No.
Go to YouTube and look up Settle's highlights. He does this like whole fish thing. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. Scott,
like a
one
fish
free
out of
agent.
water thing.
Yep, that one free agent. Who is it?
I love Swank's take. I love the fact that we do need someone that needs 12 plus sacks on this roster. And we mentioned Horrible Harry and Star Lotullier and Zimmer and Butler and all them. I honestly believe, look at the film, look at what they're bringing in. These two defensive tackles who are known to run the stop, they will make this. They are an upgrade from what we previously had. And if you can upgrade that part and bring in a big defensive end like Chandler Jones, it's going to wreak havoc. And guys, let's keep in mind, McDermott is defensive minded. Frazier's not going anywhere, and they've spent defensive line draft capital first and second rounds on the defensive line these last bunch of years. They're going to address it, and I think that's what the big move that they're going to make is. My pickup, Jarrod, has nothing to do with free agency. My pickup is something that was brought up to my attention today when the Jaguars put Laviska Shenault on the trade block. That would be the move I would love to see. 6'1", 225 pounds. The guy he can run the screens. He can run out of the backfield. He's powerful. He is like a Debo Samuel. He would just make this offense so much better. And the trade with Beasley would to add the draft capital as far as money goes. So I love that move. I think it would be a great move. Laviska Shenault has not given a chance. He's been playing in the NFL for 2 years. His first year in 2020, his quarterback was Gardner Minshew. Good story, but not the elite quarterback that you want thrown to your first or your second round draft pick. And then the second year, he gets Trevor Lawrence, a rookie quarterback, who obviously he's going to develop into something, but rookie quarterbacks are hardly anything to shake a stick at as far as counting on them for big-time production. This guy with Josh Allen and this offense would put us over the top as far as offensive statistics. You could break all the records if you had him in your roster. And think about this offensive lineup. They go 10 personnel. You have Diggs, you have Davis, you have McKenzie, you have Shenault, and you have McKissick in the backfield with Knox out there.
You're passing, obviously.
Well, 10 personnel, Knox wouldn't be out there. But who you covering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who you covering? So that would be something I would love to see.
And I'm just going to jump in there really quick and say I agree with, oh my gosh, I forgot this person's name already. My goodness, I'm going to go with a cornerback, J.C. Jackson. If we had the money to get him, I would definitely be jumping on board, only because of what has happened in recent, I'm looking at the screen, Dakota Eichler. She said, what are we going to do about the cornerback situation? Mine, with what we just learned about Levi Wallace signing with the different team, is going to be J.C. Jackson. It'd be great to have, because we don't know what's going on with Trey White yet, but to have somebody that to come in to be able to start right off the bat would be something that I'd be concerned about.
Jared, I'm going to burst your bubble here.
Yeah,
J.C. Jackson he's with the Chargers now.
Yeah, he signed with the Chargers. Signed a big contract.
Rewind. We need to find
Just
out.
kidding, making sure you're
Is
paying
Nate
attention
Odoms,
out there.
Nate Odoms still available? When
Nate
did this
Odoms?
happen?
So,
That
guys,
brings up a good question. That brings up a good question from Dakota. What's our cornerback situation looking like?
cornerback is Trey White. Everyone knows the studies are out there. You're not 100% until after your second year of recovery. He's on schedule, but who knows what on schedule means? I've heard fourth, fifth week possibly. So right now we're starting off the year by going into it without our first and second corner. Obviously, we have Dane Jackson, who I believe could take Levi Wallace's spot and cover pretty well. Taron Johnson signed that contract, so he'll be our nickel back. He's a consistent run stopper. He's good in the box, and I think that's a good move. Sarah Neal signed his deal. We still have McLeod and a couple of those other guys that they signed last year. So, I mean, we have 6 or 7 on the roster, but this is something I do believe now that we lost Levi we'll be addressing in the first round of this draft. Which I do want to bring up real quick. April 28th, guys, the 24/7 Buffet in the Morning K-Gun Report will have a draft special. We watch the whole damn thing. We talk about every pick with you guys. We have food, we drink beer, and we just have a good old conversation. And we take phone calls.
Hell yeah.
And we take phone calls.
As of a day ago, J.C. Jackson was gone. So I don't know where my mind was on that one.
Mhm.
But one day ago, he was gone.
Okay, and also, guys, I want to
got 3 kids. Don't worry.
yeah. I also want to let you guys know that I will be putting out 24/7 Buffet in the Morning. We'll be putting out draft profile videos. I'm going to break it down. We have 6 weeks until the draft. I'm going to go 2 corners, 2 interior offensive linemen, and 2 interior defensive linemen for potential first-round draft picks. Obviously, I'm going to be realistic and pick someone that's going to fall around our spot. I'm not going to go after some of these top 5, top 10 players, but keep your eye out for that. 24/7 Buffet in the Morning. We'll be putting out draft profiles for our 25th pick potentially.
Uncle
So,
James.
quick question.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uncle James, and you don't have to go crazy into this. And I know that we're doing the profile. Scott's going to do some profiles. We're going to put some videos out and give you a better idea. Because if you followed the show, which many of you have, I am not the guy to ask about the draft. I know this much about it, and then I really researched the guys afterwards, and everything's fine. But this dude over here is the guy to ask. So he's going to be doing the profiles. But Uncle James was wondering, and maybe you can just off the cuff here kind of give us an idea of what you're thinking. He wants to know who in theory is available to pick at 25. So I would take that as like best available. Who would your guy be?
Uncle
right
Jamie. I have in the first round projected up to 8 cornerbacks going in the first round. But as of last week, the combine with all these wide receivers running 4.3 40s, 4.2 40s, there's a lot of teams in the top 25 that need either a wide receiver or corner. I can
Or
see
the
now,
Raiders that take the fastest player in
No.
the draft, regardless of who it is.
but guys, I can see some of those teams
Back
that
off
were
the
in
mic.
one or the other. But handful of these teams that were one or the other are going to get wide receiver happy and try to get one of these 4.3 guys, which is going to bump up our cornerback projection. Uncle Jamie, I would love to see Andrew Booth Jr., a guy by the name out of Clemson, Kyer Elam out of Florida, Kyler Gordon out of Washington, or even McDuffie from Washington. If any one of those 4 guys are available, I think the Bills should definitely jump on one of those guys. And as far as defensive lineman, Jordan Davis is apparently I had high hopes for him. Apparently his work ethics is a question, but there's a couple other guys we can talk about, and you'll see in those videos that I put out.
I like it. Boost my
Swank,
guy.
I know you're such a big Tua fan. Dakota has a question. Do
I
you
saw
think
that.
Teddy Bridgewater can steal the job from Tua?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if they. You know what, man? Miami is such a dumpster fire. I don't know what the hell they would do. With all this Flores stuff and everything that's happened, I think that like a lot of that has gotten swept under the rug. But with the second phase of their rebuilding, like or whatever they're doing down there, I absolutely think Teddy could. I think Tua, he showed flashes last year. They did well down the stretch, but then, he got the rug yanked out from underneath him again. I really don't think he's that great of a quarterback still. I think he's mediocre. I think that you took that and the ownership showed you that they didn't have any faith in you, and then they took the one guy that did have faith in you and, cut him loose like when he was doing well and you were winning games. So I don't know, man. If I was Tua, I think I'd be looking for another way out. Yeah. I think Teddy could come in and absolutely give him a run for his money. And I don't know how much more upside Tua has to show you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he locks right in and it's a different story. But I think it's kind of a sad deal, man. Like, it's a kid that had a whole lot of aspirations and just got mismanaged into nothing. And then, like I said, the ownership doesn't believe in him. So, and you have
who would? You know who shaped him into a good one?
Who's that?
Mike Vo said Teddy is bridge under flooded water.
I think Frank Reich could do a good job with Teddy, with Tua in Indy.
I think he could do a good job with Teddy too.
I do, and the thing is with Miami, not only did they take him out during tough parts of the game where he would have learned the most, they just didn't give him any protection. They didn't help him out in the draft at all. They drafted Waddle, yes, but their biggest need was offensive line, and they didn't address that till the third round. So the Miami Dolphins did nothing for Tua. I know the ownership was trying to lose games, offering Flores money to lose games, which is crazy. A little rant real quick. I can't understand how an owner of a franchise is all that stuff's being swept under the rug, but Calvin Ridley, who was injured for a season, bet on football. A game that he wasn't even playing at the time is suspended for the whole year.
Bet on his team to win.
$1,500.
Bet on his team to win.
It's in $1,500. That's all trivial. I bet that's done a lot more than it is. But to suspend someone that needs to make the money, that is working his ass off to earn money in a sport that he loves, and suspending him for a year, and then some owner that is offering someone money to lose is being forgot about.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I agree 100%. Joey was asking if I would take the quarterback from Miami as a backup for Josh.
I was just going to ask you that, Swank.
100%. Teddy? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wish that they would have pursued him a little more. But I think I don't know what his contract is. Does anybody know what his contract is? I'd be interested to see that. No, Teddy.
No, Teddy Bridgewater.
I'd be really interested to see what it was. Obviously, the Bills have something else in their sight right now. But, yeah, I think it's important. It's important to have that safety net. We had it last year, and nobody was worried, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you have it and you don't need it, fine, I really don't want to draft somebody to do it. Like, I really want some sort of veteran presence back there.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Swank, that was the question I was going to ask you if you wanted that backup for Miami. But, Sky, here's a question I want you to answer. Do you want Jarvis Landry on the Bills?
Nope.
Swank?
Nope.
Jarvis Landry.
So some people said that he's a great locker room presence and all that stuff. And I went back to look up controversy with Jarvis Landry just against the Bills themselves. The Aaron Williams cheap shot, it was a high block. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He goes out and says that he plays the game the best he knows how to, and he doesn't think about plays like that. But he obviously lunged. And then he did the same thing to Taron Johnson 2 years ago when he played with Cleveland. He did the same crackback lunging, almost took him out. And then after a jet sweep against the Bills, I think this past year, or another whatever it was, he went up to Jordan Poyer and headbutt him. So. Dude, say what you want about his
locker room presence,
character, and locker room presence, but no, I don't want him here.
I'll put it out there, dude. The guy's an asshole. He's a total asshole, and I have no respect for him. I haven't had any respect for him. That shot on Aaron Williams, not only was it, high and unnecessary, but it was also wasn't blind, and he shoved him. It was from behind. And it ended his career. And I put out a tweet earlier this week saying, like, okay, just for conversation's sake, he got cut. I wanted to know, and you guys in the comments, let me know what you think about this. Is our culture in Buffalo so solid right now that you could get a guy like that who, and I didn't even imply Well, I did imply, but I didn't say that he's an asshole. I just said, is our culture so good and our locker room so good and expectations set so high and the foundation is so strong that even if you brought in a guy like Jarvis Landry, like, does it matter? Like, could he even affect anything in the locker room, or would it be more of a positive for him? You know what I mean? And people came at me saying, like, he's just not a fit. You know, he's not a good fit for the Bills and blah, blah. And, you know, if you think he's got locker room problems, then, like, you've got problems, that kind of stuff. And it's like, don't bullshit me. Like, I know, like, you can watch him in every single game, and maybe I'm biased because I don't like him. But if he was a good player, I would say, and yes, he has flashes of being a good player, but he is a whiny, sniveling, poor sport bitch, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every single game, he's got a problem with somebody. He can't catch a touchdown and not get in someone's face, not talk junk, not whatever. You know, and I guess that's my problem. I'm not into that. I think when he does it compared to when Stefon Diggs does it, it's completely different. And it's because you know Stefon Diggs' personality, right? Like, when he was talking junk while he was catching that ball falling on his back in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. He caught the ball. He completed the catch. They were going back and forth the whole time. And while he's falling, he's yelling at the guy. And it's like, that's my dude. But I know him. I know him from what he's shown me. Jarvis Landry, all I know from him is he's cheap.
Is what he's shown you.
And he's mouthy. And he's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's all he's shown. He ended one of my favorite players' careers and got away with it. Like, you know, I don't know. And he hasn't, like, Stefon Diggs went from Minnesota, where he was a problem, he was a cancer in the locker room, to coming to Buffalo in his first season and leading the NFL in yards and production, and is nothing but, like, the best guy ever, you know? Like, even didn't have as much production last year and didn't whine, didn't cry. All he wants is a Super Bowl. He wants to win with his team. He loves his team.
Mm-hmm.
He's said it on interviews everywhere. Jarvis Landry is not that dude, and he never will be. He's a crybaby. So that's my
It's
rant
a
about
body
that.
language, Swank. It's body language. It's one thing to sit there and catch a ball and jaw your mouth at the guy who you just jumped over and caught the ball with, compared to getting up and posturing up against somebody.
Yeah.
Instigating.
There's a threat there. When you're just jarring, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
But when you're stepping up and posturing and, you know, getting in someone's face, that's different, especially when you have cheap shots to go underneath your belt there.
Well, yeah.
And also Diggs mentioned Diggs again with his attitude that he came over with Buffalo with, that was totally different than what we heard. I think recently in recent interviews, he said that his job is to win games, but if he's going to try to get it, so his other players get the ball too, to get other players open by getting double teamed and doing right routes where it takes the defense away from a certain player getting the ball. So that's what we have to have on our team. And to top it off, if Landry does come to Buffalo by any chance, does Diggs, his attitude and his leadership, wash out Landry's? But you never know until you get to the game, right?
That's kind of like the point I was trying to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the way we have things set up. Like, if we signed him, I wouldn't be happy about it. He wears blue and white, like, fine. I really don't think he's got the DNA. You know, I think that's that safe, like, way that McDermott and Bean vet people, and that's their explanation to DNA. I think if you don't have, if you're a talented player, but you don't have, like, that drive and attitude that they're looking for, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. You know, they'll find somebody else, and they're out there. So, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. And I know, like, everybody says, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's a million ways to win a Super Bowl, man. Jarvis Landry doesn't have to be on your team. Ask the Browns. Ask the Browns about, like, have they won the Super Bowl the last 3 or 4 years? You know, they had a stacked deck. Jarvis Landry is not the end-all, be-all. And
We have a comment in here, and I'm going to take this one just because it's Jerry Rice. Jarvis is simply not a dog to the likes of what we have. End of story, especially in the locker room.
100%.
Jerry, you're right on point.
Can I tell you guys something about
Go
our
ahead,
culture?
bro.
About
Yeah.
our culture. I was listening to WGR, and I think it was Joe Miller speaking, and the words that he said spoke true to the way Bean and McDermott are bringing this team up in the draft, where teams normally go and pick up out of their 7, 8 players they draft, at least 2 or 3 of them are SEC players. Teams that are known for these championships, these defense, these hard-nosed players. McDermott and Bean in the last 4 years, I think, have only drafted 4 total.
Yeah.
Jake Fromm, Voshawn Joseph, Trey White, and I can't remember the 4th one. But they're building a culture. They're bringing in players that aren't brought up their whole career saying, you're number one, you're going to the best colleges, you've got this 5-star rating, blah, 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 here, here, here. Granted, they've earned it, but they're going after players that had that culture, who has had to work for what they've got. And I'm not saying these other players aren't, but they're going and grabbing these players that are working their ass off to get to where they are and bringing a certain culture of, I wasn't given this gift. I had to work for it, and now I have the opportunity. And it's crazy to see. Joe Miller brought it up, and I was like, you know what? That's crazy. Is these SEC players that you see so many go in the draft every year. The Bills have only had 4 in the last 4 years. That's nuts. But that's the kind of culture they bring into this establishment here in Buffalo, and I love that thought process, Joe Miller. And way to bring that up, man, because you opened my eyes to something I didn't know about, and that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Jake Fromm is the other one, right? Quarterback.
You mentioned him already, but yeah, it's something, isn't it? Though, if you think about it, you bring kids in that are fighting or working for what they want, and not to say that the SEC doesn't have kids full of that, but it does have something that does carry some weight. All right, fellas. Damn, we could talk all night. But what are we going to talk about next week? Next week is season 3, episode 2. I think we have a special guest coming on with us, Scott.
Yeah, Ranting Ron from R&R Productions. You guys, if you've seen his videos, he's quite popular. He does videos of fans yelling, "Hey, it's Ranting Ron!" But Ron Tozek, I think, is if I didn't say your name correctly, Ron, you can correct me next week. But we'll love to have him on. We can't wait to hear his take on what's probably going to happen in these next couple days. And no, it's a special guest that we can't wait to have on here. So, Ranting Ron will be on our show. And we've got the event out for that, guy. So go ahead and join in. And then the next week after that, we'll be giving away a Levi Walsh. We know he signed with the Steelers. He signed with the Steelers, but we got a jersey to give away, so that can be all yours in 2 weeks.
There it is.
Yeah, invite your Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Yeah, I was just going to say that. All right, well, season 3, episode 1's coming to an end. As always, we'd like to thank the Buff Fandemonium for joining us. You guys killed it tonight. We saw a lot of new names, but we're going to end the night with a little closing thoughts. And we're going to go with Scott first with the closing thoughts.
Hey, guys, can't wait. Love being back. I can't wait to get this season going. The 2022 season is among us. We got a long off season. Can't wait for preseason, and obviously we got a couple special events coming up. But for me, keep an eye out for those draft profiles. We'll be putting out one a week until the draft happens. And do not miss that draft party that we're having April 28th. We're going to start early, an hour before the draft starts, taking phone calls, guessing some picks, getting them wrong, and just looking forward to the Buffalo Bills 25th draft pick.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I think they're going to trade up and get the 17th, but hey, oh my. Swank, closing thoughts, my friend.
Hey, man, I'm very stoked and blessed to have you guys here to do another season of this. It's come a long way. Thank you guys so much for holding down the numbers all episode. It's been nuts. It's pretty much stayed right at 30, so thank you guys. Tell your friends. Everybody new, please follow, like, subscribe, and be on the lookout for season 3, episode 1 of the K-Gun Report, coming at you on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the audio version. So if you think you missed something, or you want to listen to our beautiful, sultry voices on your way to work or on your way home tomorrow, it'll be there. Other than that, I can't wait. I can't wait for the draft party, and love you guys. Thanks so much. Go Bills.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at it again, season 3. The Fandemonium showed up again, and we love seeing the names come back, and we also love seeing the new names appear. Whoever left a comment tonight, we're going to give that Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny a spin, and we will be sharing that in the next couple of days for on Twitter and Facebook and all our other devices there to show everybody who the winner is for that Gregory Rousseau jersey. The guys mentioned that draft party. We have that coming up. That's going to be a big show. And also we have something in the makings for a gathering in September for the regular season Ragers. So we're still getting things situated with that, but that's going to be a huge event in the Finger Lakes area. Can we say where it's at yet, or is not yet, guys?
Let's solidify some stuff, but it's in the Finger
All
Lakes.
right.
It'll be at a
Yeah, we're
brewery.
going to have another gathering. So we'll have that out for everybody too. All right, here we go. Tomorrow's going to get crazy because there's what's going on tomorrow with the NFL. There's no more tampering, right? You can sign people after 4:00.
Yep.
Trades and all that stuff. So keep an eye out, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. We'll keep everybody posted with everything that's going on. Until
We'll
then,
have a lot to talk about next week for sure.
yeah, we'll see you season 3, episode 2 next week with Ranting Ron. Until then, be safe and go Bills.
Oh, Bills!
Go Bills!
This is a dangerous group